Hello world, August Cortez coming live from Web3. I got the robe on. It's the time, it's the season. Things are getting cold, but the learning is getting hot. So today I had a really jam-packed day. Really went into so many rabbit holes from DeFi to calculus to art, and um, it was just a very long day. I'm exhausted. My glucose is fully depleted, but doing the final touches of the night and getting ready for tomorrow because working on something very, 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 very exciting. And I think if you don't have passion or if you don't have the faith to believe in these high ambitions, your body won't operate and won't allow you to execute. Sometimes, you reach that state of burnout that I would say it's below burnout. You're close to burnout, but your faith, passion, and belief allows you to take the extra steps. And if you don't recharge, you will reach the burnout. No matter who you are, you're not a machine. But there's little things that we can do, and collectively, I think the experience does get tiresome. However, it does become very exciting as well, especially when you break new paradigms and break new levels. So I'm gonna give a recap of the day, and then give an overview of some, some components that I'm working on. So I spent the day jumping into a conference called EGlobal. They're a very prominent group for developers in the Ethereum ecosystem, and I was learning about projects that dropped in the NFT and the DeFi space. So I was just hearing creators and builders pitch their product or the dApp, and it was really interesting. A lot of MVPs, a lot of clunky work, but you could see the vision. And being a founder myself, it's always good to see fellow builders in the space, especially in the Web3 space, because it's completely new. And what I came across in ETH Global was some NFT projects, but one that really caught my eye was called Degenerate Dogs. They're doing a really interesting DeFi pipeline with NFTs, very similar to what the Nouns are doing with their DAO and their um, process, but with the Degenerate Dogs, they're doing really cool liquidity with NFT and more DeFi components. One of the things that attracted me was how they set a process to work with a stablecoin called CDI, and that led me down a rabbit hole to learn more about stablecoins. What's the big usage on them? If you're trading crypto, why not stay to a normal currency or a firm current, or I should say a strong currency, like Ethereum, blockchain, or Bitcoin, or Cardano, Tezos, etc. But these are all volatiles, right? So it's quite interesting to learn about the stable coin and their true utilizations to be stable. Because if you have this cryptocurrency that's not a dollar, but it has the value of a dollar, it allows for effective trading, have a base unit of value that is stable. It's fairly strong. The US dollar is a good currency in the terms of comparison. There's a lot of inflation and a lot of economic turbulence going on, but regardless, it's a currency that has withheld the test of time for some while. But we're seeing really advanced evolutions, and going into DeFi, one of the interesting things that stable coins are used for is liquidity pools. So I've heard about liquidity pools. I've watched videos around them, but it was just like a sporadic approach. I didn't have like a holistic tie to understanding the DeFi ecosystem. So then from liquidity pools, I learned about decentralized exchange platforms, where you connect your wallet, you stake your currency or you buy currency, and you can do this through a decentralized exchange. Then I learned about market makers, where people will essentially buy and sell the currency, uh, disregarding certain variables. And it was really interesting. Then I learned about the constant product automated market maker, and that ties to the liquidity pool. So um, basically, the constant uh, product amount automated market maker will essentially set an X amount of variables or currency, and then the liquidity pool will have a certain amount of tokens from different currencies, and they sum up to the constant product. So let's say that you have uh, 50,000 ETH and you have 50,000 DAI coins. If you sell a certain amount of ETH, then the DAI has to fluctuate to become equal value of, I actually missed the most important part, the common product amount. So you have 50,000 worth of $50,000, we'll call it, we'll stay to the stable currency, 50,000 dollars in ETH, $50,000 in DAI. The liquidity pool has the constant product of 100,000. And as I mentioned, that if you sell 50,000, certain amount of your ETH, then the remaining of the DAI has to uh, accumulate to stay to the 100,000. So if one currency is exchanged, the value of the other currency increases due to the supply and demand. But then it's interesting because it's a stable coin. What does it lead to? It can lead to um, arbitrary trading, which is something that I learned about as well. And also learning about routing between liquidity pools, and allowing for the currencies to just navigate the ecosystem much easier. And then price impact as well. So, this was all in the morning. It was just a rabbit hole in DeFi itself. I learned a lot about other dApps, a lot of projects coming into the space. Okay, this is a lot. Let me jump into another area where I see Learnio going very soon, which was algorithms. Algorithms has been a big interest of mine for a long time. However, not having a strong technical background, the stats, the probability, the programming, the calculus, the process to make an algorithm, I have been limited. And I was like, you know what, let's sit down. I have a belief in a protocol. Let me understand the baseline, the first principles to create an algorithm. Let me write down the variables, the inputs, the outputs, and have the goal of the algorithm to create the protocol. And the protocol is the accumulation of multiple algorithms working together. So from there, I learned a lot about math. I learned a lot about calculus, and was floating in this space and programming as well. So that was exhausting in itself. Um, learning these fields is quite intensive, and it's never always an easy thing to pick up if you don't have the background coming into it prior. So then from there, I had a good sync with the team, and we started discussing art. I think we broke a new paradigm on the type of art that we want to produce. Is we're not sticking to traditional layers and assets. A lot of these projects are just slap-ons. They're very weak. No unique creativity to this. A big shout out to Fausto because he pushed the boundaries on uh, the creativity we were bringing. We were essentially bringing, I'll call it vanilla layers and components to the art piece, but now we're bringing something very unique. The art itself is going to stand on its own feet, and then tying it to the utility of Learnio and making it a scholar. It's going to make things very exciting. It's going to make our collection stand out and our background. So can't wait to get to the market. People out there want projects that are utility based, can stand on their feet, have strong teams behind them. People are tired of these house of cards, and we're here to provide one of the best collections out there, from art to utilization to vision to execution to growth and all the variables in between. And lastly, I learned a little bit about DAOs and the risk of them, legality wise. Like, the government will see that you're operating under a DAO. This could put individuals at risk because the DAO, under law, I believe it states that it's like a partnership, not an LLC. So LLC is the first legal entity that allows people to avoid personal liability. So if uh, you're in this DAO as an individual, and something happens within the DAO, you could be sued for your personal assets, your personal aspects. You are at liable responsibility at a personal level. It's not like the DAO gets sued. It could be the DAO gets sued and then you individually get sued as well. And that's something you have to be hyper aware if you want to create a really good DAO or just create a DAO in general. You don't want to risk all the assets in your life for some bad decisions. All right, so that's the overview of the day. So much more to go. I'm excited all around. Apologize for lack of energy. I am really exhausted. My glucose is out, but tomorrow's a new day. Gonna read a little bit and then recharge the batteries for tomorrow. All right, so thank you for tuning in, and I will see you tomorrow.